Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this past Saturday, we had a girls volleyball team who refused to play an opposing team that had a transgender player. And I always find it hard to believe that they're still doing this. They're still doing this in our colleges, making girls play against teams that have male athletes. We've seen what happened to Peyton McNabb. She got hit very hard by a male volleyball player. She got knocked out cold and she has been injured ever since. But for some reason, these schools are still doing it. They're still allowing transgender players to compete against females, despite the risks. Thankfully, it's always great to hear stories like this. Girls standing up for their sports. Girls making a stand and saying that we're not going to play against a male player, not in the women's category, not on the women's team. And what's even better is that the schools and the coaches are supporting these young ladies. So the Santa Clara tournament took place this past Saturday, and there were 4 women's programs. So we had Southern Utah, San Jose State, Santa Clara, and Fresno State. So the San Jose State team has a male player. And this was allegedly hidden from everybody. So the player in question is called Blaire Flemming, but previously this person was known as Braydon. And this person is on the San Jose State University's women's team. And get this team that has a male player has won a record 19 matches and has set a school record of 30 kills in one match. And they also have a season record of 266 kills. So Outkick contacted San Jose State Athletics Department to inquire into whether this student is on an athletic scholarship program, and they declined to give that information. So according to Redux, his family members have been careful not to publicly identify him as transgender, but his grandmother referred to him as her grandson in an early photo. So the question is, was this person's biological sex hidden from everybody? Was this person presented as female only to find out that this person is in fact male and is playing on the women's team? It's not unheard of. There are women who have come forward and said that they didn't even know that they were competing against a male athlete. So on Saturday, a match between San Jose State and Southern Utah was cancelled because the Southern Utah team said no. Our girls are not going to play against a team that has a male player. That's just simply unfair, and most importantly, it is unsafe. What happened to Peyton McNabb is unacceptable. And even since then, we have had other examples of girls getting whacked in the face by a ball hit with such force because the person hitting the ball was male. So Outkick reached out to Southern Utah to see why the match was no longer being played. And in a statement to Outkick, they responded with the following. The Southern Utah University volleyball team has opted to compete in just 2 non-conference games at the Santa Clara tournament this weekend. The Thunderbirds are eager to make the most of these matches and continue building momentum for a successful season. Southern Utah has informed the tournament directors and opposing teams of this decision, and we wish them well with the remainder of their respective seasons. Outkick followed up with Southern Utah to ask if they refused to play the match because San Jose State has a transgender player on the team. They did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the specifics of why they cancelled the match. So Southern Utah just confirmed that they chose not to play, and the San Jose State, the team with the male player, had no comment at all. So San Jose State is 5-0 this season and won at Hawkeye Invitational Tournament last weekend. Blaire Flemming, who was born male with the name Braydon, according to Redux, was named to the all-tournament team. So Riley Gaines posted the following. Male player from San Jose State, Blaire Flemming, leads his team to victory against Iowa. Look how high he jumps. Look at the speed of the ball. Not only is this unfair, it's dangerous.
Making a run in that second set, and maybe even the first.
Here's Warden with the serve. The Spartans with a big kill. How about it, Blaire Flemming? 5 kills in this opening set, and they take the first 25-16. We'll be right back.
And we know that in volleyball, when it comes to the net is positioned differently according to whether it's a male team or a female team. So in the women's team, the net is lower. So if you're male, not only do you have the advantage of being male, you have the advantage of playing with a net that has been lowered for women. So typically, they're going to be able to hit with even more force. Just like they would if the male player had his net lowered, he's going to be able to hit even harder with all that power behind the hit. So while Southern Utah would not confirm that they cancelled the match because of a transgender opponent, it's difficult to find another reason for the sudden change, which was still on the schedule as of earlier this week. It's worth noting that former Southern Utah track and field athlete Madison DeBose strongly spoke out about women competing against transgender athletes after she faced a biological male who competed for the University of Montana. Montana? Montana has a male player. You are kidding me. I've heard some unfortunate news about Montana going down the woke route. Okay, so they haven't confirmed it. They haven't made a big song and dance about it. They just withdrew quietly. They just didn't play, and nobody knows for sure why. But considering that this school has had female athletes speak out in defense of women's sports, it wouldn't surprise me if this is the exact reason why they withdrew. I think that's a reasonable conclusion to come to. You know, this is a team that obviously wants to win, that wants to progress further in the competition, so I can't think of any other reason they would have pulled out. So Riley Gaines believes that Southern Utah cancelled the match because San Jose State has a biological male on its team. I can't imagine this was an easy decision, but it's one that sends a clear message. Female athletes deserve safety, respect, and the right to fair competition, Gaines said. This is the type of leadership and sacrifice that speaks louder than any game won or lost, setting a powerful precedent for future generations of women in sports. Playing against a team with a male competitor not only tips the scales of fairness, but also introduces an unacceptable level of physical risk. Safety isn't just a concern, it's a necessity, one that cannot be compromised in the name of victory or participation. When we prioritize safety over inclusion, we show the well-being and integrity of women's sports matter more than any scoreboard. Wow, very well written there. While Outkick can confirm Blaire Flemming is a prominent member of the undefeated team, as evidenced by Flemming receiving all tournament honours last weekend, the school could not tell us whether Flemming is receiving an athletic scholarship. So the student's information is protected under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, San Jose State said in a statement. So San Jose State, the team with the transgender player, is playing again this Sunday. So this shows that you just simply don't turn up and play, you just withdraw. You don't even have to make a statement. You don't have to make a big fuss about it. You just decide I'm not playing. So I think if this is the reason why the school didn't play, I absolutely commend them, and I think they went about it the right way. Nobody can accuse them of anything. They just simply withdrew quietly, and they didn't go into detail about the reason. And if that's what they want to do, they have every right to do that. Safety needs to come before scoreboards. So some of these coaches that has transgender players, they love it because they want to win. They don't think about the safety of the women, though, of the females. And no, being on hormones, even before puberty, doesn't take away the advantages that somebody has as a male player. It doesn't take away the advantages, and it doesn't take away all of the risks.
Okay, you've got two competing goals in sports, right? One is inclusion, which everybody can understand and get on board with. However, the second goal that's in direct opposition with inclusion in this instance is going to be a fair competition. And if that's your priority, if your overriding priority is going to be fairness over inclusion, you got to turn to the data. And the data irrefutably shows that biological males are 10 to 30% stronger faster, have better endurance, better aerobic capacity across the board.
Even if, like this child who went through the puberty blockers and takes estrogen, has been doing that since elementary school.
Again, if we defer to the studies, and I sent several to your producers, which maybe they can put on the homepage, they show that even on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, the decrease in physical performance is, quote, trivial. That's what the data says. And to give you an example, if you look at a biological male, transgender female, with grip strength in conjunction with a biological female transgender male, okay, so both of them are on blockers and cross-sex hormones. The transgender female, the biological male's grip strength was 17% greater than the female on testosterone and puberty blockers.
Yeah, and this when you talk about contact sports, you talk about safety, you talk about volleyball, you talk about soccer. I mean, this is out of control.
So do you think they withdrew because of the transgender player? Or is that something that you're not going to assume because they haven't confirmed it? So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.